Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva spoke about her readiness for the new season. "I can't say that I'm ready, like last year. This year will be harder. Is it a fight with yourself? Not a fight, step by step, carefully return to form. I don't know about the Lutz Rittberger yet, I use it for spinning. The more you do it, the faster you spin. This is preparation for the quads. But if I'm confident in him, then why not? As long as I have injuries, that's why I can't fall from quads. In general, it is undesirable to fall. Now it's getting better, the injury doesn't bother me much, but if I fall unsuccessfully, I will not rush things, I will wait for a full recovery. This is the beginning of the season, we have a month before the next starts," said Valieva. The Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee, DAK, of the Russian Anti-Doping Agency, Ruseta, will announce a decision in the case of figure skater Kamila Valieva in October, with the punishment to be determined taking into account the circumstances. This was stated by the Director General of the agency Veronika Lajanova. "There is a procedure for processing the results, we cannot name the date yet. The investigation was in relation to the staff, the coaching staff is included there. Tentatively October is the date of the announcement of the result. In the code, we can see what sanctions can be obtained for certain violations. Our standard term is 4 years. But what the DAK will decide, due to different circumstances, decisions may be different," said Lajanova. The Director General of Ruseta noted that the decision of the DAK may be challenged, as usual, in the courts. "Given that Valieva is a protected person, there are special rules, I can't say whether there will be a disclosure or not," Lajanova added. Information about the positive doping test of 15-year-old Valieva, passed in December at the Russian Championship, appeared during the Beijing Olympics, and after the Russian became the champion in the team tournament. Because of this, the skater was at the center of the scandal. The IOC, the International Skating Union, ISU, and the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, challenged the further participation of the Russian woman in the competition, but the exit panel of the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, allowed Valieva to the individual tournament, where she took 4th place. The case of the champion of Russia and Europe was dealt with by Ruseta. On September 14 it became known that the investigation was completed. The decision on the anti-doping investigation against Kamila Valieva may not be made public, because the skater is a protected person due to her age. There are special rules for public disclosure in relation to a protected person. "I can't say yet whether it will be published or not," Lajanova said. Former Deputy Director General of the World Anti-Doping Agency Rob Kohler accused the International Olympic Committee, IOC, of protecting Russia's interests in the issue of allowing athletes to participate in the Olympic Games. "They told me directly, Russia is the strongest sports power. The IOC is a 50% partner of WADA. And we don't want to piss them off, so back off." Did the IOC want Russian athletes to participate in the Games? 100%. They were more interested in protecting Russian interests than in keeping the sport clean, Kohler said. Russian athletes competed at the 2018, 2020 and 2022 Olympic Games under a neutral flag. A lot has been said about Kamila Valieva in recent days. The figure skater and the coaching staff received the first portion of the hate after an insider, about an allegedly positive doping test. The second, after the test skates. "We have collected in one material all the brightest, in our opinion, statements of colleagues about what is happening with Valieva now. Hell, that is always with you." Kamila Valieva's free program is obviously focused on the domestic Russian public, where doping is not a crime and, in general, hands off the child. In any other country, the program would have every chance of being booed. Because it is impossible to get rid of the idea that it is being rolled by a person who has become the center, no matter what, not of his own free will, of the most grandiose scandal of the Games. And to peddle this topic until the proceedings are completed and the medals are not received, it looks at least unreasonable from the side of the coaching staff. In addition, it is good to stage such a program as a kind of farewell court of a career. Then everything fits perfectly into the dramatic plot, riding on an aortic rupture, and a hood, and tears. If the production is made for the whole season and is accompanied by such a painful emotional return, as we saw in Megasport, it is just right to call it hell that is always with you. So that forces Kamila. In every way, peddling the theme of doping? In the free program for Kamila Valieva, an attempt by the coaching staff, not Kamila, to reflect on what happened at the Olympics is visible. And the psychology of the athlete, it seems, is not taken into account. Yes, you can get formal consent to the idea, yes, you can stage the whole performance in a friendly atmosphere at your own ice rink, but only the moment when a person who has experienced stress finds himself alone, standing in the middle of the rink, completely immersed in the image, and people, many people, Waiting, look at him. At this moment, memories are unlocked in full force and tears roll. After all, it was the coaches who left Kamila in the corridors of the mixed zone. They dropped one. It was they who did not know what to say when the girl went through the hubbub of journalistic questions, closing herself with an ill-fated hood. And that's what's holding them back now. It would be better in such a situation not to commercialize the doping story. Why sell it to the public? For what? The decision of the Anti-Doping Committee has not yet been made, and there seems to be little chance that it will be favorable. So why? This is a big sport, not a movie. Life is not a movie. Especially for this, films use slow motion so that the audience has time to understand and feel what is happening, to catch the main turning point of the plot. They chew the idea and invest in the brain. Trust us, that's how it was. Then you can duplicate the same scene again, only at speed, so that everyone is sure to get tired. And music, there must be music. And it doesn't happen in real life. In life in general, even the most drama drags on and on in time for days, weeks, months. And it is very difficult to rebuild yourself anew after global failures and fear. Kamila now does not need to bathe in grief over and over again. No one will be better off for this. Kamila's words after the performance: "How many skated the program in training, there were no such emotions. When I came out now, it was as if they had dipped me in there again, tears welled up, but I need to roll. Dancing is murder." Years ago, when the country's book market was engulfed by a boom in precocious detective stories and women's novels, a kind of guide appeared on the net for those who set out to become a successful writer. I remember the author's statement that, in addition to a bright and exciting beginning, on every 11th page in a row there must be either a murder or a brutal rape. Otherwise, they say, the reader will inevitably lose interest in what is happening and will not finish reading the book to the end. Dancing on Ice, if you think about it, is built on the same principle. Her fate will be great. If you believe the statement that the universe never sends a test to a person that is beyond his strength to endure, Valieva is destined for a truly outstanding fate. Her story is already full of drama, and it is quite possible, by the way, that bullying by the sports universe is not over at all. But the way the athlete continues to carry this cross deserves respect and admiration. That is why Valieva wants some outstanding, truly great storyline. Elena Kostornaya spoke about the new PP of Kamila Valieva. Elena did not like everything. As for the very idea of the program, I leave this question out of the brackets, because it caused me rather conflicting feelings. And I would not like to talk about this topic for a long time, if only because I myself am an active athlete. I can only say that this rental, of course, evoked emotions. As for the program itself, in terms of music, it had an interesting beginning. This is a good find, as well as an unusual ending. Kamila rode mentally, subtly, loudly. But if you compare all of her programs, starting with The Girl on the Ball, they are in a similar style. In them, first of all, Kamila, then music. I would like to see her new, explained Elena.